Can anyone tell me that what exactly this fast fashion is all about? It is not just about that the cheaper prices are coming up and we can buy our clothes on Mitra online or on end of season sales or different places a little cheaper and then fill your wardrobes. But yes, that has been happening on a regular basis. We have been seeing how our father or our parents' wardrobes was at least 4 times lesser than what our wardrobes look like. Isn't that correct? And our children or your children will have probably 10 times bigger wardrobe than what you guys are having. That's where we are moving to. And in all this process, have you guys ever thought about, or do you guys know what is the clothing that you're wearing? And if you're wearing that clothing, where it is getting made? Do you know the country of its make? Anyone? How many of you know the country of the make of the garment that you're wearing right now? Just raise hands. Okay, have you actually checked your wash care label or something? That's what happens, right? But just look at the older times. Just few years back, what was happening was that we knew our tailors. We knew who's creating our clothing. We knew the name of the person who was creating this clothing. And that is what the slow fashion was. And in today's world, the fast fashion, there's some country who's designing it, the other country who's actually manufacturing the clothing, the third country which is retailing it, and then we are getting the clothes that we are wearing. That is what fast fashion has become these days. The only thing that has remained constant in this, the way that we have been utilizing and depleting our natural resources from the earth. Yes. Fashion has been one of the biggest polluters. In fact, to give you some of the facts and figures, it is the second largest polluter on earth, just after oil and gas. And it's very interesting to see that we are actually 20% of industrial water pollution waste is coming from the textiles. 200,000 tons of dyes are getting lost to effluents every year. 85% of the debris is getting contributed by microfibers at the shorelines. Not just this, there are some more figures that I'm going to show you. 1.5 trillion liters of water is getting used by fashion industry every year. That means, just to give you a perspective of that, Bangalore as a city would be using only 1 trillion liters of water in a year. So it can sustain a complete city of 20 million people. And we are using more water there than that. And you know the condition of water that we have right now today in the country. 200 tons of fresh water would be utilized to just dye 1 ton of fabric. Twice as many particles are released by older garments compared to the new ones. Just have a look at what we are doing right now in terms of the lifeline of a particular garment. We are not donating enough. We are not recycling enough. We are not reusing our garments enough. That is what is happening, and hence turning waste into our landfills. And we have heard so many times that textiles is one of the major contributors of the landfills that we are bringing. We have not even left our forests. Our forests are getting cut because of our fast-growing consumer needs. And we have utilized every single point of natural resources that is currently existing on the earth. That is where fashion industry has been growing. But we are talking about, we are taking care of it, and we are thinking about it. So where is actually all this happening? Sustainability. We are talking about it since morning, right? But if you look at the bigger picture, we are still at a very, very embryo stage of it. We have just started talking about it. But there's lots more to do, and there's lots, many things that we can look into when we are talking about sustainability. Let's look at, first of all, where is the future going? Fashion and technology has always been synonymous. And how technology has been evolving, that is something that we have been seeing on a regular basis. Technology has been used in fashion industry. We have been seeing how our garments are becoming more interactive, more accelerated growth and more accelerated fashion has been evolving because of technology. Just to give you a sense of it, when we talk about technology, we can see the fashion and the fibers are becoming more and more interactive. People are speaking to technology. This is Lady Gaga entering IG fashion red carpet. And when she came in, you can see the bubbles growing out of her 3D printed designer clothes. It was an awesome and awestruck moment where people, the shutterbugs and everyone started clicking very quickly. But was it the first time that a machine was getting used in the garments? No, actually it was not. One of our major giants like Nike, Adidas, and you will see here Adidas clothing, which is all about sensors inbuilt in it to understand that how body of a sportswear works. This is Nike auto lacing shoes. Just by pressing the buttons, you can auto lace it. Before this also, Nike has made Nike Plus possible, where they had put in sensors and they have tried to record that how runners have been moving across. So technology, you can see, has been synonymous to fashion and how fashion has been made its name over there. So what really happens is that, like this, technology has actually eaten up the natural resources, and instead of embracing technology, we have actually dominated it. This is the difference that needs to be brought. What we need to now start thinking about, how to make innovation, how to make technology as part of the fashion, as part of sustainability, to bring it to the future and give it to our children. Because we are not just inheriting the earth from our ancestors, we are actually going to borrow it for our children as well. So to make earth more sustainable, we need to put in this technology in practice and try to bring in more innovation. Let's look at some of the ways of what we can do. So here are a few technologies which I have listed out: artificial intelligence, machine learning, robotics, design thinking or engineering, as well as blockchain technology. All these technologies are right now getting utilized in making fashion industry more successful. If I start talking about the different case studies that has gone in, then I would be taking the whole day. So I'll just quickly move in and you guys can read. All of you have access to smartphones now, another technology. So please make use of it, and you would like to understand that where artificial intelligence or machine learning is getting used in fashion technology, we can connect offline as well, right? Now let's look at sustainability. When we talk about sustainability, technology needs to be used, the innovation needs to be used to build in the sustainability into the fashion industry. And when we say that, there are various examples. Here I am going to give you examples of Bio Couture, yet another fashion house which has been creating garments from bacteria. Here you would see liquid bacteria that is getting grown and how they have converted that into a fabric and hence into a fashion. And to tell you very frankly, this is just the start of it. The future of this is going to be, imagine fibers getting grown simply out of bacteria. Imagine if you want water repellent, for example, or if you are looking for something that moisturizes your skin automatically. Those kind of fibers getting generated from bacteria. Imagine the kind of natural resources that you will be saving. This is complete sheer genius. This is like growing the fabric and growing the clothing right from the scratch and making it and developing it on your body. And it is very personalized. It is something that can help the nature, that can help the earth survive. So like Buyer Couture, there are multiple other fashion houses nowadays which are moving towards it. Not to forget, this is the clothing that is made up from bacteria. You can see it on the window, and this innovation has not stopped. This is an ongoing innovation. They are creating more and more clothing out of bacteria, and this is just one of the examples of how you can save nature. I'm sure the kind of creative minds that we have over here and that are sitting in this audience, there are multiple ways that you can use your innovation, your creativity to save nature from getting depleted by fashion industry. That is what the future of the industry should be leading to. Yet another example came in from Patagonia when I was doing my research. Patagonia is one of the firms which actually gives out the sewing kit along with its jackets and expedition clothing, etc. What it asks you to do is mend your clothes. Go back to slow fashion. Go back to reutilizing your gears, what you have already utilized. Think about innovation in hand stitching. Everyone has been talking about fast fashion, mass production, etc., etc. When we think about hand stitching, that is where the luxury, the experience, and the personalization comes in. And that is going to be more in demand in the future than what we have right now, today. That is the difference that Patagonia has been bringing in for its consumers. If you go to their website, you can see multiple videos where they ask you how to repair your zippers, how to repair a patch on your jacket, etc. It's a wonderful site and it's a brilliant brand to work with. They actually came up with, on your right hand side, the picture that you see, that's an advertisement that they gave out on the holiest day of the year, which is the Black Friday. Black Friday, you guys must be knowing that it is the biggest sale of US. And they came up with an ad which says, don't buy this jacket. Now that was a revolution. Everyone started thinking about it, that what exactly are they talking about? But the real meaning of this was that don't buy this jacket if you don't need it. We have been filling our wardrobes like anything. If you just take Europe itself, 30 million euros of clothing is lying out there in the wardrobes of people which are unutilized, which they have never used even a single time. That is what Earth has moved to, the world has moved to. So if we are giving out these revolutionary messages, actually to tell you very frankly, that day the sale of this jacket actually increased. This worked in favor for them. But if you look at it, the kind of connect that it made with the consumer was different. Somebody here told me that they did a study and the consumer were only concerned about the prices and very few of them were concerned about the quality. But just add ethics also as part of the, that's my request as your next research, and see if ethics is one of the parameters or not. I'm sure it is going to rate one of the topmost parameters for your buying of clothing. That is what the world is. That is what the future and Gen Z and millennials are talking about, right? Some of our Indian brands also have understood this, and they very clearly understand that where sustainability is and where we need to move when we are talking about sustainability. So Anita Dongre, Doodlaj, Ika Beno, they are purely based on sustainable fashion and they are moving towards that. So we had to mention this. And if you look at the way forward to the future, I would just wrap up my speech today. First of all, it's all about ethical fashion. When H&M says that it is the conscious clothing that you are going to wear, and when something like, we recycle products, people are paying more attention to it. And it is a luxury to buy those clothing. People love to spend little extra penny for Mother Earth. They love to understand that it is ethical, so we want to buy that. And no more the clothing has remained just organic cotton or hemp. Sustainability is much more beyond it. That is what the future has for us. It should cater to all. Somebody again here asked that how can we make sustainability more affordable, right? It has to be done by all of us. It is not the onus of only the manufacturers or retailers or the designers that sustainability has to come into question. It is the onus is also lying on each and every consumer, on all of you, even as a consumer. How much are you recycling your products? How much have you gone and stitched back a button of a shirt and not thrown it out or donated it out? People don't even donate, saying that, oh, the button is out, so I'm not going to donate it out. Think about it. Just by stitching back that button, you might be reducing so much of landfill on this earth. And that is what will move the fashion industry to a more sustainable future. We are talking about big numbers, like we are going to become $1 trillion industry and we are going to be big. It's all great, but how? That is very important. And if you are ethical and if you are believing in the sustainable fashion, that is the way ahead, right? And it should cater to all. It should come down to the level of your masses. It should come down to the level of, and should not be just related to the luxury only. So the future would be getting down to the masses. Embrace the technology. I'm reiterating this, that do not use technology and innovation just to dominate. We need to embrace it and we need to use it to make sure that we are utilizing our natural resources more ethically. That is what the future will have for us. Personalization, and when I say personalization, it is also all about experience that we are going to have. Think about minimalization. How many clothing are there in your wardrobe which you don't even utilize? When you are choosing nicely, you will buy also wisely. That is the rule of the future that is going to be. People are going to get more minimalistic and they are going to think about reducing their wardrobe, reducing the landfills, and think and buy more realistically. If we are just thinking about that, oh, I'm not drinking from the plastic cup and now I've left drinking from plastic straws, I'm being very good to Mother Nature, Earth, that's not the end of the story. Think about it on your daily lives and try to utilize it on your daily lives. That is where the changes are going to bring in. And when I say experience, it is not just experience about the luxury items that you are talking about, that I'll have a great ambience where I will be going and working, etc. The experience will become personalized to you. And that personalization will come in when you start connecting to the brands. So the minute you start thinking about, a lot of people here raise their hands that I'm going to become a designer and I'm going to create a brand of my own. When you guys create that brand of your own, then you should be thinking about that how ethical I am to my consumer, how true I am to Mother Nature, and how I'm creating that sustainability inbuilt in my brand. That is when you will actually get closer to Mother Earth. That is the end of it. Thank you so much. I would love to take your questions if there are any. Are there any questions for me? Yeah. There's somebody there right at the top. Can you raise your hand again? He's looking for you.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
You are giving examples of certain integration of technologies into.
Yeah, please go ahead.
introduction of technology to the fashion and everything. Some examples like artificial intelligence and machine learning. So when the production of those technologies itself, computing, as a disadvantage, I mean in the terms of disposal, now they are issue like e-waste and itself. So those products which are giving trouble enough, then we are introducing them with the fashion and we are calling it as sustainability. So just because it's not creating problem in fashion, it's creating problem elsewhere. So how can we tag it as sustainability as a whole?
So I think you didn't follow the flow of what I was talking about. I was talking about, yes, technology is these days the talk about and they are synonymous to the word fashion. But at the same time, what we need to do is that we need to start thinking about technology in embracing it, not by dominating the nature earth. Okay, so yes, we are utilizing different types of technology like artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. But it is not really a direct threat to the sustainability. That is one. Second is that even if there are any questions to that on the sustainability part for using of these technologies specifically, then we need to think about it in a more realistic manner. My topic is today about future of fashion industry and sustainability in the fashion industry in future. So that is what changes we need to bring in, not just from the end of the designer or retailer or manufacturers, but we as a consumer too. We should think about those changes.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
I do understand that
Yes.
part. No,
Yes.
I'm just trying to ask that. It's not just the computing part. It's any technology or any ways. When you are integrating with the fashion, maybe now or tomorrow,
Yes.
that part is not sustainable. Let's assume. Whereas that will lead us to sustainable fashion. So can we term that as sustainable?
These days they are doing that. People, I'm sorry to use this example, but just for example, Starbucks, they call themselves as sustainable, but then again they'll serve you coffee in the plastic cups or paper cups. That's not really being sustainable. So just calling yourself sustainable is not going to meet the ends that we are talking about. And here we are talking about developing a $1 trillion industry. In that industry, if everyone become conscious about how to save the natural resources of the earth, that is where the actually changes can be brought in. So if you are an entrepreneur, if you are planning to start your own label and designing label, then please think about sustainability in depth, in whole, not just superficially. Yep.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thanks. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Great.
Partially.
Any other questions? Yeah, you have one.
कौन है यार इधर?
You said we can make and come here. Good afternoon, ma'am. This is Bhagya. I am from Idea Worldwide. Ma'am, you said we can make the fabric from bacteria. And what is the care and the laundry? How we can do it, and is it safe to use, ma'am?
This is something that you'll have to check with the bioculture probably. I'm not a technical expert in that. But just Google it. You might find the founder's name also of bioculture and reach out to them. Suppose if there is a possibility of understanding that how exactly they do that. I'm not a technical expert. I just use this as a case example and study.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, there's one more question there.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Veena from ATDC Ashwal Group. My concern is, you told Patagonia, it provides a kit, right?
It provides a kit.
How
Yeah.
mending.
Yeah.
See, in olden days, our grandmothers and all, they use waste robes and saris for preparing blankets and pillows.
That's
Why
right.
can't you people help them, or why can't you people do a collaboration, or else you can do a research on that
and
Yes.
we can go for a sustainable level. Is it possible?
Yeah, definitely it is possible. Not just we people. I think the onus has to be from both the ends.
Yeah.
It should be we. Why don't we people?
Yeah,
Okay?
sure.
So that is what the collaboration. I'm standing here and at least talking about it. Yeah. So the awareness now has been generated. We definitely would together build a more sustainable future. Okay? That is the expectation. And yes, what you're talking about is. So, what you're talking about, that getting back to that slow fashion of where our grandmoms and mothers were actually stitching the clothes and they were actually doing, reutilizing things. Hand stitching is a wonderful art, and somebody who has used a machine, a tailoring machine before, they would know that how beautiful experience it is to stitch your own cloth. So once you do that and you populate it out saying that it is a hand-stitched cloth, you look at the kind of value that it is going to bring back, and the values that you will be teaching your kids of telling that reuse your cloth, recycle your cloth. That is the value that will bring the sustainability back. Yeah. Thank you for adding that line.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks a lot. Do we have more time for some more questions? Okay, one more question is there. And after that, I'll hand it over to you. I won't eat into your time much.
Good afternoon. My name is Siddhi Sharma. I am from Army Institute of Fashion and Design. So my question to you is that we being fashion students are being aware of the term sustainability. But there are so many others of the same generation who are not completely aware